everybody, it's Starrapter here. Welcome to my spoiler-filled review for Star Wars Rebels episodes Jedi Night and Dume, which are 10 and 11 of Season 4. We have just come back from the long break, and we have our last stretch of Rebels episodes for the entire series. So I'm stressing this again. Huge spoiler alert on tonight's episode, so getting into it for the episode A Jedi Night. Well, this is all about our Rebels crew trying to get Hera back from Arianda Price and Thrawn, who has been captured. They have a daring escape. They get away with Hera, and Kanan makes a huge sacrifice to let the Rebels get away, and in doing so, pretty much completes their mission in a way. So let's get into the things that I liked about this episode. First off, the banter between Kanan and Hera was great. We finally see them profess, their love for each other, and there's just a lot of great moments in there. And the mention of Krennic from, Tarkin, and going on with, Thrawn competing with the Stardust Project, aka the Death Star as we know it in Rogue One. So super cool there. But obviously, I want to talk about Kanan's death. To me, was it impactful? Yes, it was very impactful when I first seen it. I kind of knew it was coming. I think most of the internet, pretty much knew that Kanan was going to die, because you can't have him run around during the events of the original trilogy, at least in the same galaxy that Luke is in. So we kind of knew this going in, and there were many moments, even in the last couple episodes, that I thought it could have been his end, and I'm surprised he has lasted all the way to Season 4. So Kanan Jarrus, he pretty much just saved the rebellion in a way, or at least he saved Lothal, because they're not going to be able to make TIE Defenders anymore. I might be getting ahead of myself, because that's probably more mentioned in the episode called Dume, but for the most part, there's a lot of events that I'm just going to kind of, combine in this review. But yeah, Kanan Jarrus, he went out in such a heroic way. I was kind of, not expecting something like that to happen. I thought that maybe Darth Vader might come in and kill him, which would be kind of cool, but maybe that just wouldn't serve the story. I think Filoni did a great job on ending such a heroic character, such a very popular character. This character was introduced in the first canon piece of material for Star Wars back in 2014 in A New Dawn. And after that, we got 12 issues of a comic book series. So there's so much backstory on this character. He starts off as this, kid that is giving Obi-Wan kind of ideas about, hey, what happens if there's Order 66? Or not really that, but, what happens about the homing beacon. And he's a very intelligent guy. He goes on the run during Order 66, and he ends up with Hera in A New Dawn. So that's what I really like about this character, is he starts off and he ends up as the mentor type samurai-esque character, and he really just evolves. And I think that's the best way to describe him, is he's just a strong character, and he's very much one of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars. When he was first introduced, Cowboy Jedi, how could I not like a character like that? And Freddie Prinze Jr. does a terrific job, not in just this episode, but every episode he was in, he added this kind of gravitas to the character, and something that I just really, really enjoyed. So I'm really going to miss him, but just because he's dead doesn't mean we're not going to get more stories of him, somewhere down the line in between different episodes and whatnot. So Kanan will live on, and he went out so strong, using the Force to help sacrifice himself. It doesn't really get much better than that. And just talking about some stupid things that I didn't like in this episode was pretty much the gliders. Yeah, that was such a rebel-ism, as the people over at the Star Wars Underworld like to call it. It's just one of those things that it would only happen to Rebels. You wouldn't see that in live action. They're going on these kites flying around. Come on, how does nobody really not notice them? Oh, there's loft bats all of a sudden? Yeah, so they have to, fit that in there with the plot somehow. So, a poor excuse is better than none, as my grandmother used to like to say. So let's move on into Dume. This is episode number 11. So this episode was all about the repercussions of the sacrifice of Kanan Jarrus. We have the Rebels crew, who is just so downtrodden in a way. You have Hera, who is powerless. She doesn't want to lead anybody. Then you have Zeb and Sabine, who are dealing with their grief with aggression. They want to get back at the Empire, and they actually run into Rook, who is the assassin of Thrawn. They have a nice little rumble with him. And then we have Ezra, who is kind of going crazy because this whole season he's been seeing these Loth wolves, and now one of them says it's Dume, so it's telling him about he should go to the Loth Wolf Temple, or, you know, the Lothal Temple. It's late here, everybody, so I might be stumbling a little bit more than normal with my words. Anyway, so I think this episode was pretty good. I definitely liked the first one better, but all around it's setting us up for the next 2 episodes, which is going to revolve a lot around the Jedi Temple, where hopefully we'll find more about Mortis. So I want to get more into the things I liked about this episode. So I really did enjoy the duel with Zeb and Sabine and, you know, Rook, and really showing you the prowess, the mastery, the skill of Rook as an assassin. I mean, this guy, first off, he's kind of small, right? But he still packs a punch, and his technology is very interesting because he has an invisibility cloak. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody out there, but I don't think we've ever really seen somebody turn completely invisible like that in any kind of Star Wars. So that to me was really cool, and especially how Sabine used that little grenade, paint grenade, to just, you know, reveal him. That was pretty neat. Now, something that I really liked too was how by the end of this episode, everybody just kind of gets back together and just gets, you know, with their spirits raised again. And we see how much the death of Kanan affects the Rebel crew. And then by the end of the episode, you know, they have a mission to complete still. They still have to save Lothal. Kanan sacrificed himself. He did a lot of inspiration by doing that for the people. They're going to get, like, you know, this is no more TIE Defenders. They can't make the TIE Defenders anymore. The factory is shut down and fuel has been destroyed. So you're going to have more of an uprising going on. Now, and we learned more about the wolves, which was interesting. Now, you might have noticed the marking on that biggest wolf, right? Was that kind of the Mira Luca symbol on Kanan's visor when he was blind? Like, it looked very similar. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, wasn't that the symbol that was like on his arm pad? It was like this like white kind of symbol, almost like a rebel symbol, but not really. So that's probably Kanan, who has been resurrected in a Loth Wolf because his name is Dume. Maybe. I don't know. I hope we learn more about it, but it just brings more of the mystical aspect of Star Wars, which has been very heavy in these last episodes because of Dave Filoni is such a big Tolkien fan of all that kind of lore that he kind of weaves into his Star Wars stories, which I appreciate because I'm also a Tolkien fan. I love Lord of the Rings, Silmarillion, The Hobbit, so I'm all down for that. So I definitely enjoyed that. Getting into the politics between Thrawn and Price was also super interesting. We actually see Thrawn starting to get angry with Price because the TIE Defender program was all about Thrawn. You know, this was his big project he's been working on for like 2 or 3 years, however long it's been. And now he can't do anything with it. And he pretty much threatens the heck out of Price, putting her in her place. So I really want to see how that's going to happen. Is he actually going to just somehow kill Price? That'll be interesting to see Thrawn possibly backstabbing somebody in the Empire. So very, very interesting there. And moving on to something I didn't understand was why they didn't keep Rook as a prisoner. I mean, they just sent the guy back on the speeder bike. Like, what are you doing? He, like, knows where you are now and all this kind of thing. Now, it's probably because it's a kid's show. They probably can't really torture him. But they tortured Hera earlier in the episode or the previous episode. So that's out of the question. They should have just done that. I guess they don't want to portray the rebels as the partisans, basically, where they just do things, like, very harshly and against moral code, but they should have at least, like, kept him, like, locked away somewhere. You know what I mean? They didn't have to necessarily torture him, just keep him out of the picture if they don't want to kill him. So, yeah, that's that. And that is my thought. Those are my thoughts on the Rebels episodes. We have, I believe, 5 episodes in total left, guys. We got 2 episodes coming up this week, then we have those 3 final episodes the week after that. So I'm super pumped. Now I want to talk to you guys in that comment section below. What did you think of these 2 episodes? What did you think of Kanan Jarrus's death? Did you think it was fitting for such a legendary character? Let's talk about it in that comment section below. Also, if you're new to the channel, I have plenty of other Star Wars content that I release on a weekly basis, so you're going to want to make sure you are subscribed if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more in the future. I'm Starrapter. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.